up, you guys? Welcome back to my bookish world. Today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. So if you don't remember from my June TBR, it was very ambitious, and I did not read anywhere near the amount of books that I put in that TBR. In fact, most of them got carried over to this TBR, to my July TBR, which it's very intimidating and ambitious. We'll see if I get through it. You're just gonna have to stick around for my July wrap-up. But because I chose the biggest book on my TBR to read for the first book of the month, and then I had a program that was stressful and took up most of my time for 3 weeks, I only ended up actually finishing 4 books. And technically, the last book that I finished was on July 1st, but I'm counting it because it was like midnight. I'm counting it. I finished it. I had like 4 pages left when I finished it when it hit midnight, so we're counting it. So let's just get into it. This will be a pretty short video. So the first book that I finished and I read, which took up basically 2 weeks of June, was The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. As you can tell, she's thick. This is a really thick book, which is why it took me so long to read it. Now, I really enjoyed this book. I think I ended up giving it a 5 stars, but I would probably more towards 4.5. I think I just rounded it up. But I really enjoyed this book. If you don't know what this series is about, basically the first book from Bud and Ash follows this character named Poppy, who is a maiden and who is very like, her country believes that she was sent down by the gods. Like, she's supposed to be super important. And then she meets this guard who is young but has traveled through the ranks really fast, and he wakens something in her as she is already starting to question her role in this country and in this world. And as she's starting to have feelings for this guard. So it's very high fantasy, although it's less intimidating once you realize that the creatures in this book are literally just werewolves and vampires. But yeah, I'm really excited for the prequel series that comes out. So the first book that comes out in September, and then the 4th book, which comes out in March of next year. But yes, I very much enjoyed this. And then I read If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy, which was an e-arc provided by NetGalley. So thank you to NetGalley and the publishers for this. I also gave this one a 4.5 stars. I greatly enjoyed this book. This follows a girl who just graduated college, and she is having a really hard time getting back into it, and she wants to design shoes. And so her stepmom, it's also a Cinderella retelling, I should say. Her stepmom is this like big executive producer in Hollywood, and she runs this show which I can't remember the name of, but it's a bachelor type show. I apparently need to drink more water. But basically something happens, and so she gets put on the show and is forced to compete for this man's attention. And it is a romance, obviously. And it's a Cinderella retelling, and it's just really cute, and I really adored it. I've read some of Julie Murphy's other books, her young adult books. This is her first book into adult romance. And I really enjoyed her books previously, but I definitely think I'm going to love her adult books even more. So I give this a 4.5 stars. Totally recommend it. It comes out in August, I believe, so pick it up. And then I read A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. This is the last book in the Reluctant Royal series. Now, I gave this one a 3.5 stars, which is not a bad rating by any means. But I gotta say, this book was definitely not my favorite of the ones that I did read in this series. I think it was good. I just think the story wasn't the best. It was very forgettable. Like, I honestly cannot remember much of what happened. And it's only been like 2 weeks since I read it. So yeah, I'm disappointed to say that, but yeah. And then the last book that I read, which I technically finished on July 1st, but we're not going to talk about it, is The Ghost We Keep by Mason Deaver, which I'm very sad that this is the only LGBTQ plus book that I was able to read in July or June, but I'm going to make up for that. I'm already starting to make up for that with July, hopefully. But anyway, I don't know why I'm so tired. This follows our main character, who I also can't remember the name of, who lost their brother recently, and they are non-binary, but they lost their brother, like, I think a year before, and you switch between, like, then and now, kind of figuring out the story of what happened, when the brother died, and how they're dealing with it now, the family, and also uncovering secrets that the brother had, and I adored it. I connected with it so much. It is based off of Mason Deaver's own experience with losing their dad, so it was just very emotional. I totally recommend it. I absolutely adored this book. I gave this book 5 stars. Yeah, I will be screaming from the rooftops about it. But yeah, that's it for my June wrap-up. Like I said, not much to it. But I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Follow all my social media down below. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!